Me a sec. Hey YouTube, it's Leah Lord, your favorite mega church cult survivor, and I'm live. And I'm live on TikTok and live on Instagram. And as you know, I spent 18 years in what I thought was a church, and it turned out to be a cult. It was absolutely devastating. I came to the realization, during the pandemic. God, this don't look right. I got to set up. Yeah. I came to the realization during the pandemic. That it was a cult and it was really controlling. And I think, because cults thrive off you attending and being there all the time, it was really difficult for me to, come to the realization that I wasn't a cult. But by God's grace, it was revealed to me. Hey, Ange, can you like up the live on TikTok, please, guys? You know how it goes, man. But I'll keep it real. Over the past couple of days, I've just been thinking, oh my gosh, I just feel so numb. Thanks, Ange. That's the only way I can describe it, is that I feel so numb. And I was just thinking about, sorry guys, 1 second. All right. I was just thinking about, why do I feel numb? And I was just trying to kind of explore this and go through the motions. And I was thinking, do other survivors feel like this when they come out of the call? Oh, thank you. Deeply Space says, you cute. Love this look. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you so much. And I've been spending a lot of time in stillness, reflection, meditation, waiting on the Lord. And I want to share with you some of the things that I've been thinking about. And after this, I might not be on the live until the evening, or not all today, because I'm going to be writing. But I will be vlogging my writing experience, and I'll put that up today. I don't want to get emotional, but I want to get this book out for you guys. I owe it to myself, and I owe it to y'all to get this book out on January the 29th, as I have promised, and I will honor that promise by the grace of God. Sorry if I'm saying grace of God and God a bit too much, guys. I hope it's not triggering. I'm just in a very spiritual mode. Thanks for the follow. I'm in a very spiritual mode. So please take what resonates and leave what doesn't, okay? So stillness. Why is it so hard to do nothing post cult exit? Let's get into it. We're going to look at this firstly from a psychological lens. Guys, I don't feel like this is the right bit. Just bear with me for a sec. Where's the first bit? Yeah. 1 second. Okay. Guys, it ain't got it, but it's all right. I'm just going to kick off. So the psychological lens, why stillness feels threatening. So the trauma imprint of performance in high demand groups, it's about worth and safety are tied to obedience and productivity. My motto is never trust the pastor that manipulates the mind. Ooh, I like that, Rohan. I'm gonna pin that. And you know what? That's why they come for all different types of like religions and different schools of thoughts and beliefs and stuff. But it's like, at least with most of these people, when they're coming, you know what they're coming with. Do you get what I'm saying? But when it comes to these settings, they come in such a manipulative like way where you don't even it's deceptive. You don't even see them coming. It's mad. All right, so guys, you have to remember, in these cults, everything's about performance. They're high demand groups, they're high performing groups, they're high pressured environments. So the body learns, if I stop, I'll be punished or abandoned, or I won't be seen as serious, or I won't be selected or recommended for certain positions and titles and roles. And that's why they create that positions and pyramid scheme, because psychologically, like in your psyche, they want you to believe that there's this positive and negative reinforcement, so they can give and they can take away. It's only God that can do that. But the cult leaders assume themselves as the same position as God. So it's like they become your main source. They're the source where you get everything from. The only source that you should be looking to is the source of creation. So when they become the plug for everything, for your spiritual needs, for this, for that, it becomes addictive. People become addicted to the dopamine, to the rush, to the codependency, to being able to go to somebody and talk to them. Do you know how difficult it is to just sit with yourself? Yeah. There's a lot of churches that are masters church, but they're cults. Do you know what it takes for someone to sit with themselves? To be able to sit in stillness can turn you off. It's a spiritual practice. And long before they started bringing in all of these social constructs and, paper, money, and, all these classes and whatever, back in the day, we really, the core of life was about the flow and rhythm of life, meditation, stillness, understanding of self. So we've moved so far. Like on the surface, it looks like we've developed so much, but we haven't really, because we need to come back to like basics now that we've got the technology, and we need to be responsible to ensure that we're using technology for the right reason. The way you have to respect the bishops and do what they say is a problem. It's like they're higher than God. Yeah, that's exactly it, Caitlin. And I want to say to everybody that comes on, this is a non-religious space, so it's from like a non-biased, non-judgmental lens. I do want to say though, I just wanted to say that to make it clear to everybody, but I just want to say that you're absolutely right. There's a lot of worship, and when you see that kind of thing going on, that's a major red flag. Do you understand? Because then what that's indicative of is that there's a worship culture, there's a charismatic leader that's going to have like this ultimate authority in there. So let's look at how they program the body to learn that we have to have like this high performance, and it's the trauma imprint of this high performance that we have to do up in there. So after leaving, that reflex remains, the hyper-arousal and the freeze cycle. The nervous system swings between overdrive, I must do something, and collapse, I can't move. Stillness can trigger guilt because it resembles collapse, which the brain once labeled as danger. So they've programmed us to be like slaves, to be always working, always doing something, always working, but it's for the Lord. That's how they camouflage it. But really, they're just laving us out and rinsing us to build the cult's empire. So a good healing approach for this is to redefine stillness as co-regulation rather than idleness. So don't see it as I'm lazy, I'm not doing anything, do it as it's co-regulation rather than idleness. Each pause teaches the body that rest is not punishment but safety. Through resting and being still, it helps your neurosystem and it helps you to heal. And so that's why God says things like, be still, wait upon the Lord. But because everything to these mogs and these people is materialistic, the truths haven't been revealed to them. So what God's done is, I call this a setup, because you can't mock God. So God set them up, allowed them to teach this false doctrine, because God knew in 2025, like he knew this was going to happen, like the pandemic. Sorry, I'm still deconstructing, so I don't see God as a he. It's just like I just say it out of bad habit. God is just an entity, neither male nor female. I think God most likely possesses the two, like that balance of masculine and feminine, because we're made in God's image and we've got that masculine and feminine energy, isn't it? When you study the spiritual anatomy, which is really important, because in this world they teach us what they want. So education is also indoctrination. That's why you have to get that gnosis knowledge. So you need to think, okay, they're teaching me about my body, my anatomy, the shell that I'm in, that when I unalive, this is just going to decay and be 6 foot under or be burned, like cremated, whatever happens, right? So why don't we know about the spiritual anatomy? And what is that? It's the things that they demonize. What's your advice on dating post leaving a cult? Oh, that's a good one, Sarah. Can someone pin that? Do you know what I'm gonna say with this? Yeah, firstly, take what resonates. Thank you, Curvy. Take what resonates, morning, my love, and leave what doesn't. I want to say firstly that this is not gonna, I'm gonna try and come from a non-judgmental bias lens, but you have to remember, bear in mind, I'm almost 40. I've been married, I've had my kids, and I've kind of had a few experiences actually, but not enough, because as you know, I'm going to be celibate for the rest of my life, and I'm dedicating myself to this cause, which is raising awareness for church cult abuse, etc. What I will say though is, looking back, I had my time outside. So depending on what your angle is, if you've come out and say like you've been in a marriage for ages, you're going to want to get your back blown out, and you are going to want to like have like those intimate experiences. But my advice looking back would be like, I think everybody should take a year out. And it's so crazy that you're mentioning this, because I'm actually writing a self-love chapter in my book, And in that book, I'm going to get into like a little bit of dating, but I'm going to say that what I feel from within, looking back on my experiences, and I will share a few of those experiences post cult exit. This book's going to be juicy, chair. One thing I will say is I would recommend that everybody takes a year off, like of celibacy, a year out, to just cleanse, ground yourself, get to know self, get to a point where you're emotionally intelligent, because men come with a lot of baggage and vice versa. People, human beings come with a lot of emotional baggage. They come with a lot of, I feel like before I even start to give like tips on dating and what to look at, I don't even think it's about that. What to look out for, tips on dating, all of that's human, fecal matter. If you've got sense, hi Missy Lights, if you've got sense and you love yourself, your neurosystem, your body from within will talk to you. Your body will reject that man because he's not emotionally, he's not in a healing space. So the energy, that the vibration on which you're vibrating on, it will be repulsive. That's why I can't be in religious institutions. I totally agree with you, and enlightenment is key. You look so cute in your Christian era. Oh, did I? Thank you so much, Lyndon. Just like your mother. Just like your mother that 304s herself out on the roadside. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that comment was worth it. Again, guys, you are going to see people in religious psychosis, absolutely bonkers, who are liars and the truth ain't in them. And that is a reason why you should stay away from these settings, because they'll never tell you the truth. They'll tell you they look good, you look good, and then they'll slag you off behind your back. So this is how you know they're liars and the truth ain't in you, because that individual thinks I look better when I was indoctrinated. All of you lot can suck your pastors dry. Suck your pastors dry, suck your mother. All of y'all. You're not coming on, King. You look like you look underage. You don't look like you're the age to be on TikTok, unfortunately. All right. So I would say to go within. Is that girl still here? Are you still here, Queen? I would say to go within, love yourself, work on yourself first before you even get into dating. Because remember, you've got to be in the King Von. What do you want to say? Because you might be a survivor. Can you put it in the chat? You have to be not even healed, but just have the emotional capacity to be able to deal with another human being. Because the worst thing you want is to come out of this cult, Miss Kiko in the car, come out of this cult, you've just dealt with narcissists and whatever, then you go from the pan into the fire, and now you're dating a psychopath. That's what happened to me. It will all be in my book. I started dating a psychopath. Do you understand what I'm saying? Especially, you got to be careful as well. Listen, I'm a sprinkle alumni, and I don't date brokies. So I'm not telling you not to get with a rich man. But one thing you need to understand, if you go for rich men, is that about 90% of them are going to be narcissists or have traits of narcissism. You need to go into that, walking into that. So what you will need to do is you need to have... you need to verse yourself on like the dark psychology behind male psychology, because then that will teach you like how to deal with a narcissism, what traits to look out for, red flags, etc. You got to go into that geared up. I would say whether you're going for rich men or not, I would say to verse yourself around male psychology. That's very important, because you need to understand how the man's mind works. They don't work like us. And again, you got to have the energy and time for dating, because men operate in a very different way. I mean, the saying women are from Venus and men are from Mars, it's absolutely right. Do you know what I mean? And that's why we see so many divorces. And then the pick-me's, what's that one, Patricia Bright, they come and rebrand themselves and now they're like living their life. You know, ladies, just get it together. I would say focus on yourself before dating, because then if you've had that time to love yourself, you know who you are, that like self-love will radiate from within outwards, and you will naturally like attract men and they will gravitate to you. Do you know what I'm saying? But the best energy to be in when you want to be dating is to actually not want a man. Oh yeah, true. Patricia Bright, she seems very masculine. Oh yeah, she's in her masculine. But that's what happens to the pick-me. After the man discards them, their whole identity. I've done a series on it on my main page, Leah Lorda 7, and on my YouTube, Leah Lorda 777. When the pick-me, because her status is in being, you know, this wife or this girlfriend or whatever. That's why the women see it as an achievement in the church, because they give it. It's like there's this status that they've got. So when they lose that, They lose all sense of self and identity. So what they do is they'll latch on to hyper religiosity, or they'll latch on to like their empires, like what they've built. And it's very masculine, like the woman on the private jet. It's like giving alpha female. And I just think that's quite repulsive. I don't think that's attractive. Not even like from a female lens. Masculine women, it triggers me. It makes me feel like in my bones. I get like PTSD because I was that. And it just, they're the most horrid human beings that you could ever come across. That's why all the men cheat. That's why all the married men, sorry. That's why most married men cheat, because they marry the pick me. Do you know what? I saw this TikTok, right? It's an example. And when they ask people, oh, how long have you been married? Blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, I don't know what the question was, but he was like, he got divorced like a couple of months ago. And he said he called a woman that he fell in love with like years ago, like 10 years ago, and they're hooking up, they're meeting up, they're gonna like rekindle their love story. And he said that and she said, oh sorry, did you say that you fell in love? They said, oh sorry, did you say, like up the live, guys, because they're reporting it. What are we on, guys? TikTok, like it up, guys, otherwise I'm gonna have to go. That's why you're seeing the consuming substances, because they're coming on now. Like up the live, like it up, otherwise I gotta go. Thank you, my love. And then she said, oh sorry, did you say that you fell in love before? He said no. He was with his wife, and whilst he was with his wife, like the first year or 2 years in, he fell in love with another woman, but he had already had the kids. So he said that he stayed with her for the kids for 10 years or 20 years or whatever, and now he's divorced her, and now he's gone back to the woman, his love, the love of his life. I was busting up. But you know what, yeah, if I was in that situation and that had happened to me, if that man came to call my phone 20 years back, 20 years later, do you know what I would say? You owe me some money. You owe me some money. Reparations, emotional distress, all of the years, everything you put me through during that time. And then once he transfers me the money, that's it. Never talking to him again, blocking him. I don't have time for that. Are you all right? And that's not even because I'm a girl's girl. That's just because you take me for idiot. And then I couldn't get over you, and I had to spend all of that time. Yeah, you got to give me a payout. Where's my shmoney? And then you're getting blocked. You know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. I've had a few of my rich ninjas, like, because I'm celibate now. But when I was like outside in these streets that came back, I'm talking about the really wealthy ones. The ones who used to give me like 4 bills, just for my petrol, just to convince me to come and see them. That was when I was in my baddie era chair. And one thing that the man them always used to say to me is, like, I got something up here. I'm not like DUMB, like the gal them are shallow that are pretty. So I was in demand, chair. I had to get out of these streets, because I was like, if I don't get out of these streets, I'm going to end up being a 304. I had to exit that scene, chair. But anyway, what point was I making? Oh yeah, when he came back, I thought about taxing him, and I just said, do you know what? The level that I'm at such, like, I feel like I've elevated to such a high level. I don't even want him. Do you know what I mean? I don't even want his tax. I don't want his shmoney. I'm good. Do you know what I mean? I thought about how it all happens, and I said, oh, I know, I'm good. I don't even want to bring it back. So what I'm basically trying to tell gal them is, you've got to be vibrating at this level to be able to date, because I'm obviously going to be celibate, but if I was to date again, my thing would be like, if I have invested some sort of time in this man and then I end up getting my back blown out, yeah, my device is heating up. Oh, it must be the sun. Sorry, guys. Oh, it must be the sun. Guys, if it locks off, it might be my phone. Where if you, like, say, like, you let him blow out your back, yeah, it's like, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect you. You're not going to, like, emotionally, you need to be that emotionally strong and that emotionally intelligent when you're dating, because if you end up starting to get into dating when you haven't healed from the trauma that you've experienced in the church cult, you might end up losing your mind and end up getting sectioned, because the last thing you need is a broken heart. The last thing you need is to end up dating a man and then he ends up being married, and then you end up, do you know what I mean? Because that's the kind of, you got to think, when you come out of these cults, yeah, what are you going to attract? What are you going to attract in your healing? You're going to attract people who are like operating at your same vibration. Do you understand? You're going to be attracting what you put out there. So a lot of gal them have come. That's why I like Shira 7. because a lot of people take what she says and like post it, and it's fun, we laugh, but yeah, you're gonna attract broken people, definitely. She does teach deeper meanings behind things like self-love, like to have common sense. She teaches on male psychology, and it's really important. Like every woman should understand the laws of power. Every woman should understand the laws of power through the mind of a patriarchal man. Every woman needs to understand that, because you can't play fair in an unfair world. We're in a patriarchal society, which is moving into matriarchy, but you have to understand it from a man's lens. Otherwise, you're going to get played. Yeah. And if you're going to start doing updating, you don't want to get played. So does that help? Did you want like tips on how to get a man and that kind of stuff, like the nails? And because that's listen, all of that surface level stuff, I find that like petty, like that's nursery school. I don't need to tell you what color, how to do your nails, listen, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, yeah. Oh, but everyone, the man them love my sensual energy though. There's just something about me. I don't know what it is. But one thing I do know is that I'm priceless. And I don't mind. This was my mindset before I went celibate. I don't mind being on my own for 7 years, 5 years, and waiting for the right person who's going to give me everything and see me as, oh my God, this is my dream girl. There's nothing too big. I would, like risk my life for this girl. Like, this is my dream girl. I'd rather wait on someone like that than go through, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of, just getting my back blown out and dealing with these petty, brokey, low vibrational men. Thank you, Kevin. Because you ain't got time for that. But again, if you love yourself, you will have that air. Do you know what I mean? I'm expensive, but not expensive. When I say expensive, I'm not talking about money, because the wealth is not the currency of this universe. I'm talking about energy, like having that main character energy, like knowing who you are, but not just saying it. You've got to truly believe it within yourself, and that takes time. You cannot start dating until you see yourself as the star of the show, until you get to the point where you see it as, any man that wants to come and date me, it's a privilege for him. It's a privilege and an honor, and he's lucky to be dating me. But it's not like you're coming in with an air of pride. It's a you of confidence and femininity, which shows that a woman is secure in herself and within her femininity. So a woman like that is not going to try and trap a man, is not going to make him feel suffocated. Men are like birds. They need to fly. They need to be free. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So when you see these men, like that dynamic, that patriarchal dynamic of the 2.0 family and all of that, it's ruined men. It's emasculated them. It's emasculated them. Do you know what I mean? And they're just not free, and is not pressured by other women. Yeah. Men don't like that. That's why they all cheat in the church. That's why they all cheat on the wives. That's why most of them are single married folk. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that I just believe that institution is binding, Magic Bill. Oh my God, I would never get married. Y'all, this is a bit of advice, yeah? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But ladies, you see, if you get married, yeah, I'd say something over your ring. I'd pray over it. And I just reject any type of binding magic that might be attached to the institution as you wear the ring, because you are no man's property. You are no man's ownership, and you that's not something that you should be internalizing in your psyche. Because then what you do is you strip yourself of all types of rights. And that's why all the women that like rebel or whatever, they're branded as like a witch, a Jezebel, a demon. That's why I didn't realize when God was training me that it's like I had to come to terms with being called all of these names. That's like the worst thing that you could possibly think of. Do you know what I mean? Like in the church cult setting, it's the worst possible case of being called a Jezebel or a witch or whatever. And I had to really do a lot of unpacking and deconstruction so that those that derogative language wouldn't have any power over me. But again, this is all about deconstruction, and again, that leads into dating, girl, because until you look in that mirror and you see yourself as a 10 out of 10 and you love yourself, because even if you're not properly healed but you just have high self-esteem, then you're still going to get something out of it. Like, even if you get heartbroken, because it's inevitable. When you go into the dating scene, when you love, it's a risk. It's always a risk, in the words of Maya Angelou. It's always a risk when it comes to matters of the heart. However, you can at least, put yourself in an advantageous position by saying, okay, I'm going to go into this loving myself and knowing my worth. And it's not about money and how you dress and how you, it's not, your worth is the currency of the universe, which is your energy. It's your aura. It's loving yourself, and that should reflect, and there's a you of that, and people are drawn to that. It's not something that can be taught. So when you see these life coaches and these dating experts, and they're just magicians, they're illusionists, all those type of people, like life coaches, motivational speakers, pastors, because they're the same. All the mega church pastors, they all have the same spirit, my loves. They're fraudsters, thieves. Because a person who truly wants you to do well and elevate and whatever in life, they will never teach you that you need a mentor, because it always comes from within. Your mentor is the Holy Spirit. If you're atheist and whatever, what your higher self, whatever. But from a spiritual perspective, there are no mentors. They've changed that Bible so much. We just can't take everything at face value, because they've got a million scriptures to give us on, mentors. They'll probably say, the one, you have many teachers but not many fathers. That's probably what they would spring up from Paul. But babe, Paul is also problematic. You see, we would have to go through Paulism and the fact that Paul's works are authenticated and the works of Mary Magdalene aren't. And her works were from the times where Jesus walked the earth. So why did they put in Paul's works and not Mary's? I think it was to maintain the patriarchal, misogynistic agenda of the imperialistic times. Wouldn't you agree? Actually, they have no critical thought. They have that part of the amygdala brain and the hippocampus, alongside their prefrontal cortex not fully being formed. It would be so hard for them to conceptualize that and start to unpack it in their naive DUMB young minds. Do you know what I've realized? I'm actually older than a lot of these people who attend these church cults' mothers. There are fully grown men and women in these church cults, like 19, because they considered as a man, like an adult at 19, 20 years old, that have mothers younger than me. Hey, Haynes, because remember, I'm 39. I'm going to be 39 in January. I'm going to be 40 in 2027. So there are mothers who are younger than me and have kids like 15, 16, 19. It's been shocking speaking to the parents. I've been like, oh, are you around my age? Oh, no, I'm younger than you, babe. I'm like, whoa. Because, I got saved in the cult really young. It was like 18, transitioning to 19. So a lot of people who are like around my age, or, they have big grown ass kids like 18. Especially if they had the kids young. And these are most of the kids that we find in these spaces. Do you know what I mean? Who are raised by like single mothers. There's quite a few siblings. And what I've noticed is the older sibling, they kind of grow with the young mum, like through their, not mistakes, but, they just grow with them. So the child gets exposed to a lot more. It's kind of more like a friendship thing. And then the older child grows up and starts resenting the parent, because then they give the younger siblings, like they've learned everything. Do you know what I mean? They've grown older. And so there's a lot to unpack. So there's a lot of like, and I'm going to do a series on it, like firstborn kids that come from single parent homes, like young mums. There's a whole piece around that. It would be interesting if I ever was able to do research chair. They're going down. They're going down. And Kevin says on TikTok, saved or coerced. None of them are saved. I call it the love bombing born again experience. It's quite Haynes, did I say hello to you, babe? It's quite distressing to think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like all the tactics and the characteristics that are used. Very EVIR. We're dealing with, like, this is proper dark magic, boy. This is dark, like, this is dark stuff. Like, now I see why. Like, I've always questioned, like, with my life, like, God, why did I have to go through this and see this? But I had to look into the eyes of EVIR. Like, You know, when you just look into someone's eyes and it's just black, like the experiences I've had, even down to like the popo that unalived my boyfriend in 2007, having to look, oh gosh, I don't think you'll understand. Like the EVIL that I've been exposed to has been wild. But I tell you something, never before have I seen the EVIL that exists in these places of worship. Look at the woman. Have you seen the woman? It's sad. I've come from a cult, just not as intense. Oh God. Any cult it's awful to have been in, you know. I'm really sorry, Kevin. I hope that this space helps you. Welcome to the community. We're the collective, a group of survivors from all over the world that come together and hold the healing space for them. I want to say, you guys have probably seen the woman that's been going around, yeah, and calling the churches and seeing if they would feed a hungry 2-month-old baby. And she's I think she's called like about 27 churches, and I think a mosque and 2 churches, including a little Black Baptist church in Jacksonville, said yes to feed this 2-month-old baby. And then she's got the baby crying in the background as well. And I've seen people commenting, this is my church, I'm so disgusted and all of this. And I'm just like, when are people going to wake up? But do you see how God is moving? Ross Clark. I'm like, what's going to be next? And this is how you know that they're lying. They're trying to act like that faith is growing and this, that, and that. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it bloody ain't. No, it ain't. They got a lot of power in high places. And that's what God is showing us with the American president. Just how EVIL it is, like religion. And also the impact. What does that mean, King Von? King Von, I will tell you, if you're from one of these church cults, because it is giving young energy, I would say be very careful, my love. Because number 1, you're a little boy. Number 2, you're not spiritually protected. Number 3, it's given that your mum might have been an addict. It could just be leaf. It could be man. It could be D. It could be alcohol, a lot of different things. But I'm picking up a very comorbid, dysfunctional childhood pattern from you, to the point where you put on a pseudo personality of a fake gangster to make yourself feel masculine because your mum was a 304. Unfortunately, I don't have the time nor the energy to psychoanalyze you and read you for filth. But what I would say is, instead of you commenting here, go and get your addict mum into rehab, my love. Maybe that should be your core focus, because as you're here concentrated on me, your washed up 304 of a mother hasn't got the support, my love. All right, so let's concentrate on that. And you growing up in a council flat, coming from a deprived neighborhood, most likely some sort of council estate, where your mum wasn't even at home to wash your batty crease or teach you how to brush your teeth because she was more focused on getting a hit. That must have been really hard. Also getting passed around by family members that you barely knew. You were probably exposed to various different types of ABUSE growing up. I'm really sorry. And I know that's most likely why you're in the church cult now. I mean, even with a name like King Von is given absolute confusion. So I feel really sorry for you young'uns. Do you know what I mean? Because you're totally confused. You have absolutely no upbringing. Your mothers are mainly washed up millennial 304s. Thankfully, the Lord preserved me. And I was in a church cult for 18 years. So this coochie's barely been blown out. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for your 304 and mother. And I know what it's like, King Von, as well. You know, like when you have a mother that's like an addict, it's like she chooses D over looking after her son. How did it feel? How did it feel for mummy to choose her boyfriend? How did it feel to care your mum getting her back blown out by someone that wasn't your dad? Was you angry? Did you internalize that anger, King Von? Did you feel angry? Were you punching in walls? And is that why you're trying to be a King Von? Is that how you release your aggression, you know, seeing your mum being treated like a doormat and a rug. How did that feel? How do you now perceive women? Do you have internalized feminine wounds as a result of your mum being a 304 and you feeling emotionally neglected and invisible, like you can't be heard? Is that why you take on the pseudo personality of a fake gangster? There's probably a lot to unpack there. But as I said, little boy, little send out boy, little follower, that's why you're in there, because you ain't got nobody who cares, baby boy. That's why you're in the cult. Nobody cares about you, chair. That's why you're in there. Nobody ain't coming for you, baby. Ain't nobody coming to save you. That's why you're believing in invisible blessings. That's why you're in there, 304ing yourself out, because you're young, DUMB, and naive, baby. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why you're in there, because you're vulnerable. Everyone who's in there is vulnerable. It's either your mum's a 304 or your mum's one of these washed up aunties that are just hyper religious. She friggin' gets stuck in a lift and she's saying that the devil is a liar and Christ save her life. Praise the Lord! You're either coming from that, and that's even worse, because why are you trying to be a bad man when your mum's the friggin' psycho religious woman that we see on the roadside in Peckham and Stratford looking cray cray? What are you doing, babe? What are you all right? Are we in the same dimension? Or your care experienced? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or you were raised by, there's some sort of vulnerability. Do you know what I mean? Or you struggle with your sexuality, you're in the closet. Either or, because this hyper masculine thing that you're trying to do up with King Von is pathetic. It's given like it's given that you've got identity and sexuality struggle. So you're trying to have this hyper masculine type of approach. Were you essayed as a child? I'm being dead ass, because I am picking up so much trauma from you, King Von. It's given that you were essayed as a child. I'll keep it real. It's given that you were passed around to family members because your mum had serious addiction issues. That's what it's given. It could have been alcohol. You can lie. You can say, oh, no. But God knows your heart is given very dysfunctional. So you were meant to comment today. Get your ass out of there and go and focus on yourself. Are you all right? Oh my God, you little boys have so much trauma. You reek of visible vulnerability. Look at you. You're in a cheap, even in your profile, you don't even look neat or groomed. You just look like these washed up little boys that's trying to be a fake gangster. It's pathetic. Your mum was a 304 because you look like that. Do you think my little brother could, do you think I'd let my little brother step out looking like you, babe? I'd never let my little brother's about 26. I would never let him step out doing what you're doing with them emojis called King Von, because that is a joke. You're looking like a clown. I would never let him step out like that. His sister's a gangster. That's how I know you were raised by 304s, because look at the state of you. Do you think my brothers could be outside embarrassing themselves like that? Not on my watch, baby. Do you know what I mean? You little boys need to go and sit down, man. I'm a real gang member outside in these streets, you little idiot. Do you know what I mean? Are you all right? You fool. I'm your favorite rapper's older brother who's unalived, babe. Ex-girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? Go and sit this one out. Are you all right? Oh my God, who did he think he was speaking to? Little boy that don't even know how to wash his batty crease. Are you all right? He didn't even have a mother to teach him how to brush him teeth and how to wash him batty front, back and forth. Didn't even teach the boy how to wash him toenail and wash him fingernail. You understand what I'm saying? When my man comes into the room, his fingernail is reeking. Do you even know how to wash his fingernail and his foot bottom? Dry, crack up foot bottom and chin and foot. What are you talking about, man? These little boy, they need to get some real discipline in there, man. These little boy need to be sent back home, and not even to Africa. Need to be sent back home to yard. That's where their backside needs to go, to yard. You know them ones, to yard. That's where they need to go. They need to go back to yard. Feisty youths. Oh, I'm so sorry that you had to see that side of me, guys. Let's get back to the cult psychoeducation. We don't want to get distracted. And I probably think it's fitting for me to read a little scripture right now, because, you know, the holy fire of the Lord, the righteous anger, you know, it just comes. So let's read Psalm 9, the holy reading of the day. Peace be to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And, you know, you're going to get people who don't want to hear the word, guys. I have to do this to protect the space. Please like the live. Psalm 9, we're going to go with Psalm 10, a prayer for justice. Why are you so far away, O Lord? Why do you hide yourself when we are in trouble? The wicked are proud and persecute the poor. Catch them in the traps they have made. So I just send that to King Von. The wicked man is proud of his evil desires. The greedy man curses and rejects the Lord. A wicked man does not care about the Lord. In his pride, he thinks that God doesn't matter. A wicked man succeeds in everything he cannot understand. A wicked man succeeds in everything. He cannot understand God's judgment. He snares at his enemies. He says to himself, I will never fail. I will never be in trouble. His speech is filled with curses, lies, and threats. These are the mogs. He is quick to speak hateful, evil words. These are the fake pastors. Psalm 10. He hides himself in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. He spies on his helpless victims. As I said, when you read the Bible, you can say anything. Praise be to God. Praise be to Lord Jesus, to our Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. But yet they scream victim, but like victim. But here we can really say anything, really, from the Bible, and that's why I love Christianity so much. That's why I'm so happy to be here reading from the Bible. He spies on his helpless victims. He waits in his hiding place like a lion. He lies in wait for the poor. He catches them in his trap and drags them away. Verse 10. The helpless victims lie crushed. Brute strength has defeated them. The wicked man says to himself, God doesn't care. He has closed his eyes and will never see me. O Lord, punish those wicked men. Remember those who are suffering. How can a wicked man despise God and say to himself, he will not punish me? That's the deception that they've got. They think they're holier than thou. That's the Pharisaic, like the grandiose ideologies of themselves, because they see themselves as sinless. They can do no wrong. They're not a sinner. They're born again. That's the deception. That's why I don't believe in curses, but they're operating in under that law, that Mosaic law. So the curses do apply. That's why everything I'm throwing at them is working, because that doesn't apply in my, because I'm not bad mind. But then what I do is I activate an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth according to the Mosaic law, which is activated. But because my heart remains clean and my intentions are pure, it just backfires on them. So now there's a law in the universe that is against them. There's nothing they can do. No OBR, no nothing, no crop, no nothing. Because when you're operating at that level, now you've unlocked the hidden secrets of the universe. Yeah. So I'm able to manipulate that energy and just throw it right back at them. That's all it is. Hey, Uncle Robs. So they don't have any power. It's like nursery. It's like playtime. The only power that they have is like money, views, like, by all of that. But that's not what it's about. Because it didn't start like them. It didn't start like that with them. You've got to remember. And that's why as a movement, we can be powerful, because there's more of us than them. It's just about the collective coming together. Do you know what I mean? And taking a stand as like united globally, which is what we're able to do, through social media and technology. There is definitely a collective of people that have left like religious spaces, religious abusive spaces. We're all on the same page, saying the same thing. And what's beautiful is it goes beyond race, culture, beliefs, gender, whatever. It's just because we've experienced that deep like pain, like to the point where our reality has been shattered and broken and will never be the same again, because now we've actually experienced Christ, because Christ is like, God has broken us down. So it's like we understand the world in a different way, and not to judge people from their outward. And, just those like key messages that Christ taught through being in a church cult. When you come out, you realize, oh my God, this is what Christ was saying. They're like the EVIL ones, the Pharisee. So it changes your perception. So if you've deconstructed and deprogrammed well, then you shouldn't judge a person by their outward. That's really basic. And so you'll be open to information and that flow of information, which is a blessing. And then you see that you start to heal. You're looking great and your message is great. Big up, bless up. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm just in a time of shedding, releasing, and just I just want to write. I just want to write now. I want to write my book. I want to write for survivors. I want to write for myself. I want to do it for myself. If that's like the last thing I do, I want to be able to like write my book. All right. And guys, please support me, because if my book doesn't get supported, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be so disheartened. I'll be so disheartened. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But obviously no pressure. And there is gonna be like, things set in place for people who like don't have the money and stuff like that. So it's just about the interest for me. It's just about it like helping people and, yeah. Okay. So break the power of wicked and evil men. punish them for the wrong they have done until they do it no more. I'm reading Psalm 10. The Lord is king forever and ever. Those who worship other gods will vanish from his land. You will listen, O Lord, to the prayers of the lowly. You will give them courage. You will hear their cries. You will hear the cries of the oppressed and the orphans. You will judge in their favor, so that mortal men could cause terror no more. Thanks for the follow, Wens. And that ends the reading of Psalm 10. Had to do that, guys, because things were getting a little bit heated. And there's nothing better than, being able to have the good old Bible hair. I think I may just put this hair because it really does help, guys. I'm not going to lie. Having this bad boy hair for my lives, it really helps to keep it going. Hey, Isaac. All right. So what I was talking about today is when you leave a cult, you start to go numb. And it's like you lose all sense of like feeling and motion of life. And it's just a stillness, like a numbness. I can't really explain it more than that. But I was trying to look at why this happens. And obviously I was saying that, when you look at the psychological lens, there's a trauma imprint on performance in high demand groups. So when we're not doing anything, it's like we feel that guilt. And then after that, after leaving, the reflex still after leaving, that reflex, guys, oh my God, what's going on? I just want to let everybody know I'm a neurodivergent baddie as well, just so everybody knows. But I hope you vibe with it. I hope you like it. I hope you like my honesty, because one of the things about me is in life, this is why I get myself in so much trouble. I'm too honest for my own good. And that's what's got me into things with people. So I have to always know how to defend myself. Because I don't read the room. I don't care. I just say it as I see it. And that is, Anyway, I digress. That's because of my ADHD. So that reflex remains the hyper-arousal, the freeze cycle, the nervous system swings between overdrive. I must do something. It must get done now. Thank you, Wens. And collapse. I can't move. I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed. I got to give up. I can't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they've made our neurosystem like all dysregulated. Stillness can trigger guilt because it resembles collapse, which the brain once labeled as danger. So let's look at the neuroscience lens and why stillness feels threatening. Because when you come out of a cult, it's like you're guilty. You can't just be still. You can't just relax. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've indoctrinated us and programmed us that we must always be doing something, working for the Lord. So one thing that a survivor said, soft life, I'll never forget it. She said how she takes back her power, and she's taken back her Sunday. She said on Sunday, she does absolutely nothing. She does absolutely nothing. She just relaxes. It's like her self-love day, her care day. And I think I'm going to get into it when we go into the metaphysics about the Sabbath and what that can mean internally for you, and stillness and the importance of that on the mind, body and soul. So that's all to come. Welcome, YouTube. You're up now, eh? So the trauma imprint of performance in high demand groups, worth and safety were tied to obedience, productivity, and loyalty. The body learned, if I stop, I'll be punished or abandoned or shamed or lose positions or go to HEOL or be judged by God or not seen as a strong Christian or have my position stripped away from me, or I won't be recommended to get married. Do you see how every need that could possibly be provided in one's life is provided for by the cult? So they have so much power. So let's look at reward pathways and cult conditioning. Dopamine and oxytocin release when performing for approval creates long-term cravings for validation. So it's when you do something right and the pastor says, oh, well done, you've done well. Even when they're exploiting us and using us for free labor for profit. They've got that pyramid scheme in there where the church cult members do everything and they don't get paid, and they just make so much money off the back of members. It's really, really sad. Now, let's take it a little bit deeper and look at a care experienced child or someone who's come in who has an insecure attachment or hasn't felt loved by their parents, emotional neglect, especially kids who have that typical uncle or auntie parent. They are going to fall prey to these types of environments, because When was it ever enough? So when these guys are saying, well done, some people have just wanted to hear that. And then they've got these scriptures, well done, my good and faithful servant. So when they're saying in these cults, well done, you've done well, it's not just like a normal, oh, well done. It's like, well done, good and faithful servant. It's the cult is, oh God, it's a lot. You know, a lot of people ask me, oh, Leah, how do you do this? You know, how do you come on and talk about this and unpack it, and because it's just so triggering. And this is why I think I decided to come on and talk about numbness today, because that's exactly how I feel. And I'm going to have to really fight through this numbness and fog to like get something done today, because I said today and tomorrow, I really want to dedicate today and tomorrow to writing my book. So collective, please, if you come across this video before, you know, before Tuesday, please send positive, you know, energy my way, prayers, whatever, however you know, communicate with God, because I really want to be able to get this done. All right, let's look at it from a sociological lens. Productivity as a moral system. So the Western capitalist societies already glorify, one second guys, I just want to make sure this is the right. I think I forgot to add a bit. I'm so upset. It's all right, guys. So the Western capitalist societies already glorify productivity. Authoritarian religions fuse this with spiritual hustle. Serving leaders equals serving God. So they've got that same capitalist structure in there. Hey, my love. And then we've got those, you know, like it's very like Eurocentric as well and westernized. So it's like we don't, you know, it looks ridiculous when they're wearing suits and ties, and it's like so hot back home. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just giving you're just trying to be this IT man. It's just like, just be yourself, babe. Do you know what I mean? How do we just dress in our native clothing and just, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of whitey washing through this religion. And again, my family's like the United Colors of Benetton. I don't like to get into race, but it's important as I dig deeper into this to discuss it, because it is a social construct that is very real. And as BLK people and people of color, we do experience intersectionality on so many different levels. When you look at, like, you know, discrimination and all of the injustice, you know, but because of these ideologies that have been created and turned into constructs, and they've become quite real. So I want to say, I don't care if a person's blue, yellow, green. I have a brother who's mixed race, but he looks whitey. I have nieces with blonde hair, blue eyes. When I'm out with them, it's like people want to call the popo. They're like, why have you got these kids? So I do not see color, but the church does. They really, really do. And you can't deconstruct this beautiful religion of Christianity in the Holy Bible, which I love so much. Praise be to God, our Lord Jesus Christ. You can't deconstruct the religion without talking about slavery. Yeah, that's on period point, but that's just facts. That's your bog standard ABCs of factual information. All right. So over time, external validation replaces inner conscience. So it doesn't matter about self. It's no longer about what makes you feel happy. It's not about the self, because the self is demonic. The devil said, I shall arise. It was all about self, I. So all of that all of that self-love, all of that. Historically, the church has preached that self-love and everything is EVIR. Now I'm hearing wives saying, I'm not going to get with my husband if he's doing 50-50. Oh, babe, give us a break. Pick me. Give us a Kit Kat. Guys, honestly, it's such a MESS in there. But do you know what? The younger generations will learn. And unfortunately, because what's going to happen is the disparity and the things that these youngsters have given up is going to be so much greater because of technology. And people will not be silenced because of technology. And you see the next generation, they're going to come roaring. And they're going to break and tear it down with everything that they got. Hey, vessel of dishonor, that's what they're going to do up. It's the next generation. Stay there. Stay there thinking that you can mock God. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there thinking you can ABUSE people. Carry on. So when you leave, the brain still seeks that dopamine hit of approval. Because remember, the porster, the mug, they become a DRUG and a cheap one at that. It's given CRACK. You know them ones like hard food jail. So you just keep needing it and needing it and needing it. So you need to, in order for us to like look at deprogramming around that, a good step is to notice the urge to prove, label it, or running back to the old systems, or repeating those old patterns. So if you find that you're letting in like a lot of people, or a lot of people are getting attracted to you that are narcissists or maybe emotionally manipulate you or whatever, you've got to look at those patterns and consciously choose rest as an experiment in autonomy. So someone was asking me earlier, I'm going to come off soon, guys, because I've got to go and do some writing. Someone was asking me earlier, about dating, this, that, and the third. Do you see now why I'm saying to like you've got to take some time for yourself, because it's just to like regulate the neuro system, to heal. Just give you, but I'm not gonna lie. I understand for the ladies. This doesn't apply to the ladies that have been in unalived, lifeless, not getting their backs blown out, decades of marriage. Go out there and get it, girl. Go out there and get it. But I would suggest just dealing with the younger man then, because that's what you want it for. You don't want to fall in love. Just have a little, just go. Do you know what I would say to the gal them like that? Level up, look good, and get yourself like a cougar. Get yourself a young thing. Do you know what I mean? Because if anyone's heart's going to break, it's going to be theirs. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you're not interested in, but then I can't do BROKE. So it's up to you. It's up to you. But I'm just trying to think of ways that you can keep yourself safer. When did you start seeing the cracks appear? With this question, yeah, basically I tried to escape in like around 2009. That's when I backslid a bit, and then I was in and out. I was in and out of the church cult, yeah, because I was with this guy. But I didn't realize at the time that was me trying to escape, because they changed the meanings and names of everything. So I thought I was backsliding. I thought I wanted to go in the world and get my back blown out, and it's because I loved the lusts of the world and whatever. But I look back now and I realized that I was trying to escape. And then one thing is, when you try and get out, because you've been in such a strict, high control environment, you just kind of go back to the old stuff you used to do. And then they've demonized it, and you see it as yourself as a sinner, and you go back to like the old habits and whatever. And when you was in the church cult, things were better. You know, you were serving the Lord. You weren't bunning. You weren't this. You weren't that. It's about a balance. You might go into being in the club every day and being really like I was, and just being out there, because I hadn't felt appreciated. I'd been in this unalived marriage. I didn't feel like a woman. I didn't feel SEXY. I didn't feel valued. Oh, morning, my love. So when I was outside and I was getting all this male attention and whatever, I do think it was validating me. It was making me feel like, I'm not washed up and whatever. So that's why I'm so against these pick-me's and women that want validation in men. I just find them pathetic and repulsive. I don't vibe with it. It's just, I just feel that that's just really beneath one. And I just feel like a queen, they wouldn't concern themselves with centralized, discussion around men, whether that's camouflaged in hyper-religiosity in the name of modesty. Listen, baby, whether you're covering your titties to get a man or whether you're showing your titties to get a man, you're both of you are pick-me's. It doesn't make you any more holier than thou. It doesn't make you any more righteous. It doesn't make you any more anything, because God judges and weighs the heart and the intent of man, my dear. That's why modesty has absolutely nothing to do with clothing. And if you're a Christian, please get it together and stop following these gal them that just want to make a quick buck out of you. They're like the celebrity pastors. I couldn't believe it when I saw Breenie Lee's video saying, if you're a woman of God, I just thought, where are the women of God? Because it ain't her and it ain't the people that are following her. I really hope that God humbles them gal, man. All right, so I think I might end with this one, guys, and then when I come back on, and then I'll do a little bit from the timetable, and then I'll go. I don't know when I'll next be on, guys. It might be later, it might be tomorrow, it might be Monday, Tuesday, I don't know, yeah. So this is going to be up on YouTube, just in case I'm not on live. And I'll do a little video telling people that they can watch the live on YouTube. So let's look at the metaphysical spiritual lens and the sacred law of stillness. So mystics across traditions teach that revelation arises in silence. So this is the stillness. So I'm looking, because you can't really find it within Christian religion. There's no answer for stillness. It will be, there's just no answers, okay? Because they just, it's been packaged in a way where it's very external. So there's no answers when it's packaged within a religious context to be able to go within, unfortunately. So when we look at Psalm 46:10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." In stillness, consciousness recalibrates. You remember you are not the doer, only the vessel. It also helps you to be in the present moment as well, which is also really important in regulating the neurosystem. Energetically, stillness is receptive feminine energy, the counterbalance to the cult's hyper-masculine drive to conquer and perform. So ladies, when a man's in his wounded feminine energy, that's his inability to be still and allow God to let go and allow and let God. Hey, lay your roof. That's so interesting, isn't it? Wow, what a revelation. All right, so the masculine energy is doing, building empires. So the feminine energy is stillness, allowing God to do, releasing, trusting in the universe, whatever, guys. Even if you're atheist, then it's about regulating the neurosystem, innit? Take what resonates and leave what doesn't, my loves, because I'm trying to talk to so many different people from so many different psychosocial lenses. Thank you, little Miss Divine. So if put what resonates there, okay? Because I can't possibly talk about several schools of thought, simultaneously. Well, not in this dimension. Perhaps if I was in another dimension, because as we know, time's not real, and it's relative, isn't it? All right. So rest will get you back into your feminine energy, ladies, which is what you need to be, especially if you want to do updating. You can't be running after no man, doing up this, doing that. Even when because you've got to be at that level where even when you're dating, a guy could be calling you to go somewhere. You don't want to go because you're basking in the presence of the ambiance and the aroma of your beautiful self. And because you love yourself so much and you're such a beautiful person, and you can, like, your own energy, being in your own energy rejuvenates you and fills your cup. When you're at that level, you can say, "Oh no, sorry, I'm busy tonight. I've got plans." Those plans are with self, and you don't even need to explain yourself to a man. It's those kind of things where a man will be like, "Oh, she's different." Do you understand what I'm saying? And he'll want to be interested and get to know more, because all the other gal them are chasing after him, and he's sitting there and waiting to see if you've messaged him back. It doesn't matter whether they're players. It doesn't matter whether they're whatever dynamic, yeah? But you've got to know what the dynamic is. Hey, Jay. So imagine that. How powerful is that, guys? The feminine energy is stillness. And that's why they go off. That's why they can't be in their feminine energy, because there's no femininity in these spaces. That's why if we go back to the woman who's calling, asking for the baby formula, she's been calling churches asking for baby formula, saying that her baby's 2 months, baby crying in the background. The reason most of the people that answered that phone are women, but they're so cut off from their femininity, like that intuition, like that feminine place, where even as a woman, they can't even say, "Do you know what? I'm going to go to the store and just buy this woman formula myself." They're not in their feminine energy. They're in, hello, yes, the masculine, got to get things done, order, performance, organization, go. That's what it's like in there. So when you see the women in their masculine energy, run. When you see the women running around like, organizers, they're always doing. They're in their masculine energy. It's an unbalanced environment. So you're going to find a lot of toxic energy, a lot of unhealed people, a lot of people moving out of trauma, projection, insecurity. And that is why these spaces are so toxic. And they've been running off the back of, churches are hospitals, spiritual hospitals for years. But baby, in the spiritual hospital, they got knowledge. They got doctors that are qualified. You lot have a bag of thieves, essayers, grapists, and preds. Yeah, so we can't see it as a hospital. It's giving a mad up house. That's what it gives that. It just, at this point, it just looks like a place, like a help center where people are going to get mental health support. Hey, honey. All right. So I'm going to say that again. Energetically, stillness is receptive feminine energy. Watch them start talking about feminine energy now and stillness. Guys, listen to when I'm talking, you know, and how these mega church people, they're trying to take things. But I just pray that God, their empires will collapse. Like if they start to go into these, like, because when they start to go into these like sacred, like the sacred knowledge and stuff, there's certain powers and laws that are moving against them now. So when I see them talking under that premise, I have the understanding they're faking it. They're spiritually naked, have no spiritual protection. So when I see them and I just speak a word, that's it. They're done out, exposed. Haven't you noticed the people that I've been exposing? Have you seen the things that have happened afterwards? I'm telling you, because I don't mean no one, no malice, but also I don't want you out here triggering me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, God, if you're really on my side and I'm really working for you, and you're really my protector and my deliverer and my provider, my shield of protection, my refuge, my fortress. You are my fortress. You are my strength. You are my fortress. And it's all by your grace, dear God. So, you know, if it is true, if I serve a God of justice and truth, please get them, Lord. Please silence the mouths of my enemies. These washed up 304 influencers, please expose them and show the world their EVIL hearts for who. May the world see their hearts. May the world see their true inner state rather than the outward, because these gal them, they cover themselves with makeup, designer stuff. It's very much about the outward, but inside it's dead bones, man. Hearts of stone. That's why if you look at the series I've been doing on Sasha Elise, that's what I've been trying to like get you guys to see, is that because the scriptures tell us that God will give us a heart of flesh in replacement of a heart of stone. So when you see these gal them that have a heart of stone and they're just sitting there, no emotion, no, and that heart of stone, it's almost given narcissism, isn't it? Because when you deep it, a narcissism doesn't have an ability to like have emotions, and they say that it's not, you can't it can't be treated. So again, if we look at like Christ and the word from a healing perspective, and Christ as a healer, is that could we internalize in our psyche that heart of stone is maybe could be reflective of the narcissist, and then can God give you that heart of flesh? This is me speaking in a spiritual way now, guys, hypothetically speaking. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. It's a bit of food for thought, because they're not able to unpack things like this. They don't have reflective thought. They don't understand meditation, stillness, and to be able to connect with Jesus Christ as the healer, our Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit. You need to be able to practice. You can't hear from God unless it's still. So a lot of the time, these pastors, they're not actually hearing from God. They're hearing, it's like their preaching is indoctrination. So it's influenced by coincidence, things that are going on in the church, trying to control, there's always an agenda. There's not enough people aren't paying tithes, so they start speaking about giving. Like, they're not hearing from God. I think we've got Christ's Sermon on the Mount, yeah? But how I even imagine that to be is like people are on the mount, Christ is standing there. There would be times of silence. He's out in nature. Do you understand? It's just a completely different vibe. We can't compare the like Christ's sermon to theirs isn't a sermon. Even when you compare it, like it was more about Christ going out and doing good. He went about doing good. Like that's Christ. And that's why the social experiment of the woman calling up the churches is so good, because it's like, are you going about doing good? Are you displaying the characteristics of Christ? Hey, collective. Hey, Ez. And that's really what we need to be looking at. But one thing I do want to say, I've got to play, like, it's not even devil's advocate with this, yeah? Because, like, you see, Michael, I'm not going to lie. If a girl called and I picked up the phone for Michael, I will go and get her that baby formula. That's got nothing to do with my cult as the organization and institution would not feed that baby. I know that. But there are some people just at a ground level that are such good people. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why, like, I've kind of felt a bit guilty coming out, because I have like influenced people to stay, because I've just been there, and people have thought, oh, you know, Leah wouldn't be here if it weren't all right. So God had to take me out of there, and that's why God's taken the lights out of there. You don't have to be like a pastor and a really it's about your heart. God is just taking the lights out of there, so it becomes more and more darker. So the people who do have the light, they will have to leave, because all of the darkness, it's such EVIL energy. They're all going to be sucking the people with the light. Like they're going to be feeling so drained coming out of there that they're not going to have any choice but to start to question the setting. You're so gorgeous. I can't even pay attention to what you're saying. Oh, that means so much coming from you, because you're model level. Thanks. That means so much, because I look a mess today. So I know you're definitely seeing my inner beauty. It's better to spend time alone with God. Yes, absolutely. And guys, this is why for me, like, I'm going to be 40 soon. I'm just dedicating my life to the collective. You know, I just feel like I've got such a big heart, and whenever I've like given my heart and stuff, it's always got broken. And this isn't coming from like an insecure place or a place of, oh, I'm scared to be with another man again because my heart's going to get broken. No, because I've learned more about myself. I think I've just got such a big heart to, like, so much love to give, that it sits really well with, you know, loving so many people in the collective. And, you know, I would love to, like, as my girls get older, I'd love to like adopt a child as well, like as I get older, and just, you know, like give back in that way. I feel like I've got so much more to offer than being like a slave and a maid for a man. And also, and that's not a bad thing. I just think I've done it. You know what I mean? And it's not been for me. And I think it's for like the younger women coming up and other women who feel called to get married and be in relationships. But thank you, my love. And I don't judge a woman. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know people have been putting articles and saying, oh, like, it's embarrassing when you see a woman, like, you know, getting married and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, it does resonate, and I do have a little giggle, and I do like the posts, because obviously I've been done dirty, like 10 years married to a narcissist. Yeah, of course I'm gonna like it. But I don't judge other women. Like, if someone came to me and said, oh, they're getting married, I still celebrate survivors that get married. I still like their posts. I'm not a bitter woman, because I understand this is my path. This is my journey. Now, if I start getting on the internet and start telling every woman, oh, you know, be celibate, you know, don't do this. Do you see how things turn into like a cult, and how people then start to like dictate and enforce their values and their stuff onto other people? This is what works for me. This is part of my soul purpose. Another woman's soul purpose could be to maybe marry a man and show that, you know, marriage is good, and you can get a nice guy, and give tips around that. And, you know, everybody's like called to do different things. I think it's just about being open-minded. Do you know what I mean? And just accepting everyone for who they are and what they are. I don't think it's about us, you know, trying to put people into boxes. And to be honest, that's what religion does. So it doesn't resonate with me. I don't, any type of religion, it doesn't resonate well. It gives me PTSD. I need to be within nature. Do you know what I mean? Like, after this, I'm gonna go in within nature. I'm gonna try and see if I can go out and write a bit amongst the, you know, the open air. You know, that's what I'm about. Yeah. And it's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful that we are able to be in a state right now where we can have peace, we can have stillness, we can get to know God at a personal level. We need to be free, sis, not controlled. Yes, I 100% agree. And I do feel like that's where, you know, the world is going at the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? Like with where we're going into like matriarchy. And to be honest, guys, you know, God is my provider and my protector and my refuge. And I think what I want to be the example of to the world is that God is my provider and my protector. And I hope that God will show himself mighty and strong in my life and prove his strength and power. And through me, I hope that I'll be able to change a lot of things and make a lot of changes, man, in my community. That's what I'm about. I'm really dedicated to the cause, you know. The deeper I dig, the more I heal, the more I reflect, the more conscious I become, the more I'm just like, yeah, I've got to dedicate my life to this. There's no other way. It needs a dedicated, focused lens and approach. That's what this movement needs. And so I can understand why God has like stripped me of like all the Like just like all of the like he's like God's humbled me in it. And it's nice to have nice things, and again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, guys, because this is my path. This is what I've had to go through. God has had to strip me of all the like need for wanting things and materialistic things, and God has had to strip me of that to just like be able to sustain myself and love myself just as me, like just as Leah, with no makeup on, no fake hair, no enhancements, nothing, just me. And I really feel like God stripped me bare. And I thought he was stripping me bare to nothing. But he stripped me bare and back to the purest form of how he created me and wants me to be. Fearfully and wonderfully made in his image. And none of those things matter. The materialistic things, the expectations of how a woman should be, the expectations of how a man, like, you know, since I just said, okay, I'm not dating anymore, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm not dressing for a man. Like, I'm going to have short nails because men might not like these long nails. And I'm going to have straight hair because I'll get a rich man if I wear straight hair and I've got the clean look and I have the short nails. That's not me. That's not who Leah is. And I just, for once in my life, I just want to be Leah. I just want to be me. I've always been like tied down or trapped in some sort of way, or, you know, by a man or whatever. It's always been like that. It's like I've noticed in my friendships, dynamics of relationships, people try to like almost like treat me like a genie in a bottle. Do you know what I mean? Like try and keep me like try to siphon my energy, keep me in this little tub for themselves and just siphon my energy. And because for all this time I didn't understand that, you know, energy is the currency of the universe. That's the true wealth. And that's the danger, especially like when you deal with like rich men. You've got to understand that energetically you are building them up. Like that's why they think that women who say like, you know, in order for me to come, you've got to do something for me or appreciate the fact that I'm just turning up. That's because women know that their energy is healing, priceless. Your life will get better, it will improve because she's in her feminine energy, this, that, and the third. You will improve, your life will improve. Just because of my presence and aura, I'm a beautiful woman, I'm out of your league, I've given you a chance. So that fight and energy to want to live up to the expectations because I'm above your league is going to drive you to be a better man and put you in your masculine energy, which you've never been in before in your life. So now you feel like you're floating on cloud nine, and now you're looking at women and you're confident enough to approach certain women that you would have never been able to approach if you didn't have me, firstly. All right. So a woman in her feminine energy that loves herself, she'll have that air. So, you know, like them that are religious, they're all of them are going to be pick-me's. There's no way, like all of the women are pick-me's. That's why the marriage institution is that it's a religious, marriage is a religious institution. I would recommend doing a love ceremony. They like a love ceremony and exchanging your love vows and say, what do you want your relationship to be? Because that one, I don't like what they say until death do us part, this, that, through poverty. And no, man. Why are you talking about that? Why are you wishing that on that? Why are they speaking all of that weird, man? They got some weird, it's a cult, man. That whole denomination, it's all a cult. I've seen it for what it is. All right, so they're saying that one healing practice to develop is to sit in 5 minutes of quiet each day and affirm. Presence itself is prayer. So the Shabaya Sataya Kochoboya Shataya Baba Shataya Baba Baba Cha 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 Cha. That's not prayer. Stillness is prayer. Like they see it as doing nothing. So this is why I'm trying to change our mindset and our thoughts on like what prayer is and the power of stillness. Because how do you think that Christ survived 40 days and 40 nights? And then he said, man cannot live off bread and bread alone. How do you think he did it? How do you think he did it, guys? The power is in the mind, like balance, grounding, mind, body, and soul. That's why they want you to be cut off from that element of self. Because then if you're cut off from that element of self, then they can just control you and dictate to you and indoctrinate you. All right. So just if you can take anything away with you, presence itself is prayer. So sitting in the stillness of the presence of God is prayer. And actually, as I said to you, God does just come like a small, still voice. It's impossible to hear over. But they'll argue they're building up their spirit, man, blah, blah, blah. But why are you still fornicating? Why are you still... Oh, it takes time for someone to check. So why are the pastors still fornicating? Why are we hearing... Oh, because they are humans. There's always some sort of excuse, contradictory. That's why people are laughing at them now. I guarantee you, like the faith that they've been pointing fingers at, this, that, and the third, that's the faith that's going to be growing more than them. Watch, mark my words. Because, you know, when the woman was calling up the baby, yeah, I'm going to share something with you lot, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm still indoctrinated. Ah! Listen to this. Clock it. So I kept seeing people say that this woman called a mosque, yeah, and immediately they helped the woman. Now, when she was calling her out, I found the video, yeah. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, but that's unfair, because in the Muslim faith, like, it's like part of their stuff is like doing for people, you know, like doing good deeds, like doing good works. And I was like, how can they just like, how it's not fair to compare the two. That's what started happening in my psyche, you know. And automatically the deprogramming came. But that was all what Christ was about. Christianity, that is about charity, love, give it, like, you know, like loving thy neighbor. Did you put clothes on my back? It also, and I was like, raw. So that indoctrination that they take you through in these settings is very strong, because there is a real us versus them with those two religions. There's us versus them. And it's a waste of life. Like, you see, when I see them in Speaker's Corner and stuff, I just laugh, because I just think, oh God, imagine wasting your life doing that, going back and forth. There's no wisdom in that, because no one's agreeing. You'll just say, what are you there for? Pride, ego, self-gratification, to shout, to hear the sound of your own voice? No, man, that's a wasted life. Guys, they just cover things with hyper religion. That's all they do. All right. So let's look at metaphysics and the spiritual lens. So the sacred law of stillness, mystics and the void, numbness, fog, and identity questioning are sacred incubation periods. Again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, guys. If this is too much, maybe pop off the live and come back, because this is currently like what I'm going through, and I didn't know if I should share this, but I just thought, let me just, guys, can you let me know in the chat if this is resonating? Sometimes called the dark night of the soul. The soul is preparing for renewal. So it's like an ego unalivement. It's like, you know, all of your, you know, like I said, the iceberg analogy, where it's like all your trauma and all the things that you've been through is now coming to like surface level. So now all of that trauma has come up to like surface level. It's like, now there's a mirror staring you back in the face, who your mum is, who your dad is, like the truth of stuff. That's like the dark night of the soul. Because truth is, you know, we think, oh, telling the truth is hard. Seeing the truth is hard. Can we handle the truth is hard. So when we come face to face with truth, we will go into a dark night of the soul, an ego unalivement, all right? And we see this within Christ's journey and his walk as well. And at a point, once I get like I've written the book and I get myself to a good point, then I'll start to like, I think, kind of talk about what my perspective is on the works of Christ. It resonates. Oh, I'm so glad. I don't even want to cry, guys, because I can't believe that, like, I'm becoming this woman, and it's all happening so fast. And hey, Evolve, my love, I'm gonna message you back today. When I come off, I'm gonna message you. It's been so crazy, and thanks for your understanding. Do you know what I mean? I appreciate that, because I'm in such a transition. You know, when you're just in like that hermit mode, and it's crazy, guys. I can't even explain how I feel. But I love ChatGPT. Not a lot of people can handle that. Yeah, they can't, Lish. They can't. Not a lot of people can. That's why it comes from that film. You can't handle the truth. Not a lot of people can. And that's why for me, I'm a truth teller. I can't be fake. I need to be able to like sit down and be able to like speak my truth and be able to have that autonomy. I don't want to feel restricted by like hyper religious rules, and that's how they control us. So if you're going through a dark night of the soul, guys, that separation, that feeling of void and numbness, embrace it. Embrace it. Because it's all part of our evolution process. The soul is preparing for renewal, for rebirth. So really look at these toxic patterns, these cycles. Look at the trauma, like really unpack it and allow yourself to feel every part of it. Stillness is receptive energy. Remember I said performance, doing, building, that's the masculine energy. That's how the women are in these religious environments. The feminine energy is the stillness. It's being still, it's taking a step back, it's allowing, letting go and allowing God to move and being in the flow and rhythm of the earth. Yeah, because they've messed us all up with the Gregorian calendar and creating time, all these social constructs. And so within your inner world, you need to find a way to be able to flow from within and not letting these social structures consume you. And so if you're in a 9 to 5, for example, oh God, that I know that's HELL, try and like spend time outside. So for your lunch, like, you know, force yourself to be outside with nature, ground, take off your shoes, find a nice cafe where there's plants. Do you know what I mean? Or somewhere where you can be near to nature, or get some plants in your office, put some plants up, create an environment, have your beautiful music playing, you know, so you can still be within that frequency. Don't allow the environment to shift and change your energetic field. Yeah, create that space. Like have your nice corner at work, have your ivy, your fairy lights, your music, because you're different. You're in the world, but you're not of the world. Yeah, so you can create your own space and energy and claim that space and energy as well. Yeah, which becomes your utopia. All right, so stillness is receptive energy, counterbalances the cult's hyper masculine drive to conquer and perform. Presence allows intuition, insight, and divine alignment to emerge. Astrology and numerology we're going to look into a little bit. So again here, guys, it's all about like looking at divine timing, being authentic, and also focusing on renewal. Because guys, we can look at the ending and we can look at unalivement in a way, oh, sorrow. And do you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. When my boyfriend unalived when I was young, and like I've experienced a lot of grief, bereavement, and trauma. One thing I've been training the mind to do is see death as something different, like rebirth, renewal. The person doesn't go. You can still, you know, and I know this might sound controversial. I don't care what anyone says, but if that's a practice where you feel you can connect with ancestors, and I'm not even talking about necessarily, you know, doing up a whole thing, but just like, you know, when you say like my nan is there for me, like just having that connection, you believe that you still can through spirit or consciousness or whatever it be. Yeah. So I've kind of trained my mind, because death is something I feel like when it happens, it can like destroy you and make you go into like psychosis and whatever. So I think understanding that it's a natural cycle of life, and I think that they've changed the meaning of it here to keep us controlled, and through fear-based programming, when actually the end of things, the unalivement of things, it's actually rebirth, it's healing, it's renewal, and you can walk into your authenticity as well. Okay. So now we're going to do a little bit of theology deprogramming, works equals salvation. And then I think I'm going to end on this bit and then I'll come back. Authoritarian preachers misuse verses about faith in action to demand labor. Let's separate healthy service from manipulative works and righteousness. Yeah, recycled energy. All right. So I'm going to look at some of the bait scriptures, yeah? And I know everyone was at different levels in the cult. Some of you may not have really been doing the ministry, so this may not resonate as much. But yeah, it may resonate in a different way, yeah? All right, so John 3:16, so the cult misinterpretation is that you must recruit, perform to prove love. Do you not need me to say the scriptures, or are you familiar with them? Shall we go through the scriptures? Maybe we just should go through the scriptures as we're doing it, because I don't, some of them I know like off by heart, but some of them I don't. So rather than, let's just get it all so that we know, because I think it's important. I think it's important for people to understand what these bait scriptures are. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you hear these in these church cults, you should run. All right. So Matthew 3:16, for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son, so that we shall live and not unalive, to have eternal life. Guys, this isn't even the version in there. I've just paraphrased it, okay? That's the John 3:16. So that's the bait one. For God so loved the world. Oh, deeply space is saying to go through them. All right. Yeah, I am, my love. I think it's important. So for God so loved the world, if that's like their mantra, their main mantra, like you'll see them doing like promo and stuff saying, oh God, rascal, I should go out and the sun is shining. Oh God, I need to go outside and do some writing, innit? So this is what they interpret it as, that you oh God, I'm so tired, man. Don't know how I'm gonna be doing up writing books. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son. So it's like we have to go out there and preach the gospel. Like that's the Great Commission. That's the mandate. We have to win the lost at any cost. So they interpret it, the cult, as a need for recruitment, the constant drive for recruitment. They say you don't need to know anything but John 3:16 to go out and win a soul. So we have to perform to prove love. We have to perform to prove that we're a Christian. We have to perform to prove, but they'll camouflage it as like outreach. Your blessings are in heaven. It's just human fecal matter. That's why it's only young people. It's only young people that are doing up these and washed up 304s, pick these. Because the only type of man that's gonna marry a washed up 304 is a religious man. And now we're going to look into we're going to look at it from a contextualized deprogramming lens. So God's love is a gift. Salvation is received and free, not earned. Acts of service flow naturally, but are not required. James 2:17. This Bible's a little bit, let me move you back a bit. James 2:17. Oh, I think, is this faith without works? Oh no, this ain't got the axe in it. Sorry guys, this hasn't got the axe in it. Yeah. Please just bear with me a sec, guys. Oh, this is the Concord. Because your girl was doing up this when she was in the call, and then these gal them want to come and have some chat. All right, my love. All right, baby girl. Whatever you gonna say, whatever you gonna do, man. And like I come from the generation, like, they used to say like, oh, turn to your Bibles. That's why Charis move like that. That's why Charis think that they're like, they know their scripture. We know our Bible, we know our word, because they pride themselves of like knowing where to go in the Bible. So it's like if the pastor says like, no, but I need to look at James because it's a small Bible in it. If they go to they got a particular place to go to, they'll know where to go in it. Does that make sense? It's been a long time since I've been doing up my scriptures. Wait a minute, guys. Yeah, and all I have to do is look at the context. But you see, this is the pride. No, I should know where James is. I'm not looking at the context. I know it's here. I know it's in one of the small books here. I'm gonna find it. This is just the pride, guys. This is the years of indoctrination. I can't to look at the context page. It will make me feel. Oh, it's hot in it. Oh my God, guys! Which book is James after? Does anyone know? Because I know it's. Oh, it's after Hebrews. All right. So it's a very small book, so that must have been why I've missed it. Yeah, it's just right there. All right. All I had to do was look at the contents, but I think it's good so people can get an understanding, because this is real life, man. So James 2:17, and it reads, thus also faith by itself If it does not have works, it is dead. Yeah. So I did say that. I think it's faith without works is dead. I did say that. Yeah. But anyway, we move. So the cult misinterpretation is faith is invalid without constant action. So James critiques hypocrisy, not grace. Faith expresses itself, but coercion is not required. Right, let's look at Matthew 28:19. And these are all bait verses. I should just be able to just say these off the back. It does feel quite embarrassing, but it's been years. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to feel embarrassed that I need to have my Bible here to quote these verses. You know, it's absolutely fine. It's been a long time since I've been in the faith, and I am rusty because I should know these scriptures are very basic. They're very ABC. Do you see the pride, guys? Can you see what's happening to me live and direct? Can you see it? Can you see what's happening to me? I'm literally talking to myself because of the pride that comes from me needing to be this scholar. I need to come in and that's not what it's about. And we know that's not what it's about, but it's very triggering. 28:19. Because if I weren't able to just know these scriptures, it's like people will start laughing at you. Like, how do you not know faith without works is dead? Like, why do you not know that's there? Like, why do you not know? Like, these are all like key verses. These are verses that you should just be able to quote off the bat. If you're not able to just quote them, then you're not seen as a strong, like a serious Christian. Thank you, Wens. All right, so Matthew 28:19 reads, "Go therefore and make disciples of all of the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Evangelize constantly, or faith is worthless." Witness can take many forms. Witnessing can take many forms. Care, art, teaching, justice, action flows from love, not fear. That's why they don't see that what I'm doing is like an act of, like, it can be seen as an act of witnessing, an act of, you know, it's my testimony, it's my truth, it's my, you know, but they can't see it from that lens because everything's about money and doing for the cult. If it's not done for the cult, that's it, you're discarded. What's inside? Now I'm moving to Psalm 46:10. That you never stop trying. Oh, oh, baby, no, baby, no, baby. Oh, God forgives you. All right, Psalm 46:10, y'all. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. So the cult misinterpretation is that you will be ignored or misused. Oh, okay. All right. So because this is a focus on stillness, be still and know that I am God. Obviously, we know in the setting, the masculine energy is doing. So the opposite of that is that if you're still, you're going to be seen as lazy, ignored, or misused. It's like you're not, because you have to be valuable in there. You've got to be like it's all about your value. And your value comes from like what you do in the cult, like how high performing you are and how high value you are. Oh, you can see it, yeah. It's bad, man. All right, so then I'm going to go to Ephesians 2:8-9. Ephesians 2:8-9. I think it's quite sad that, you know, I'm at Ephesians, but I think it's quite sad that, like, I just don't know where to go. I don't know. It feels weird. It's very strange because I haven't done this for a long time. Like, actually got the verses out and sat here and it's very strange. How I'm doing this, only God knows. Okay, so Ephesians 2:8-9. Oh, look, I've even look. I've got it underlined. Look, guys, I've got it underlined. If these are the main scriptures that are used to coerce you to go on outreach, to give your money, to make you do. It's very workspace run. Because if they've, like Caris will have this, I imagine a church like Proton, RPF, all them kind of church cults, they've all got the same doctrine. It's discussing and Antichrist. I'm so sorry you went through this. It's all right, babe. Thank you. I appreciate it. So Ephesians 2:8-9 reads, "For by the grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourself. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast." And you know what's crazy? It then goes on to say, "For we are his workmanship." As the other versions say, we are a masterpiece created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So it's like, even it's almost like when you avail yourself to God and the stillness and just waiting on God and like letting go and allowing God, it's like you're then operating in that authenticity. You know, that's all it is. That's what it is. Being a masterpiece is just being yourself. That's the highest vibration in the universe, and we are like, you know, God's creation, like a marvel. So then when we get into like that authenticity, like just being our complete total selves, then the workmanship is seen. Because remember, God's a creator, and that's why we're all supposed to be like, you know, like individual and unique. We're not all supposed to be like clones or dressed the same. Like that cloning, when you're stripped of individuality, that's where we start to go into systems like indoctrination. That's when we start to go into capitalism. That's why they go into, you know what I'm saying? It's all about systems, structures, and they want to cut you off from self, and that's what they want to do. That's what it's all about. They don't want you to have your autonomy. So the whole ideology behind Ephesians 2:8-9 is that we must earn salvation through effort. You must earn salvation through effort. Salvation is a gift, not a reward. Doing nothing does not reduce spiritual standing. So salvation is a gift. Salvation is free. Like it says in the word, thanks, Wens, there's nothing you can do to buy salvation. That's why they package it the way they do. That's why they package it into this cheap McDonald's meal of a religion. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now we're able to buy invisible blessings. Now we're able to buy fake blessings. It's now a reward for you winning souls. Now you're going to have a big mansion in heaven because you've saved so many souls. What? God is not a respecter of persons. God wouldn't do that, because in God's eyes, the way God works, his ways are not your ways. His ways are higher. Like you might have won 1,000 souls in your mind, but that woman that just used to help that homeless man for the rest of his life and took him in, God may see that woman as greater or have earned a higher place or whatever. So it's not, you know, it's just really black and white thinking, and it perpetuates our society. It makes it such a dark, low vibrational place. All right, let's go to Romans 5:1-2. Everybody turn your Bibles to Romans 5. Everybody turn your Bible to Romans 5:1-2. Is everybody there? Romans 5:1-2. Romans 5:1-2. The ones that want to thief your money, that's how they'll talk. And the blessing of the Lord is the joy of the Lord. That is what we're doing. Romans 5:1-2. Therefore, having been justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom also we have access by faith into this grace in which we stand and rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. So peace is conditional and based on obedience. Oh, Noah said it sounds like Sesame Street. That's what they are, puppets, isn't it? That's what they is, Noah. They is a puppet. So peace is conditional and it's based on obedience, because You know, they won't give you any peace. They'll give you silent treatment. They'll make you walk on eggshells. They won't speak. They'll do all of that. They'll do all of that to keep you into shape, or they'll emotionally manipulate you and act like they're going to hurt themselves so that you'll come back. Mad. There's some crazy people in these settings, chair. I've seen it all. I've seen it all, man. There's nothing I ain't seen before, chair. Peace and acceptance are received, not contingent on labor. Stillness can be an expression of trust. Another scripture that comes to mind is God will give you a peace that surpasses all understanding, and that he's given us, he has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. I know it's not exactly quoted like that, but those are the bait scriptures when we think about, you know, it's not impressive. That's ABCs. Like when we think about, you know, peace of mind, we think about peace, but it does clearly state in every version that you read there that the peace is supposed to come from like source, like God. If you're an atheist, then that's going to be again regulating your nervous system, isn't it? How do you find peace? Is it through music? Connection with nature, seeing a beautiful sunset? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, my loves. Then we're going to move to, and this is the last bit that I think I'm going to do, my loves, okay? And then I'm going to do a bit of writing, even if I just get a little bit, yeah, I need to do something. I came and I said I'm going to do a chapter on my book about this. I'm going to come and deliver a live to help me. But you know what, guys? Coming on here and speaking to you guys, it will never feel like wasted time or wasted energy, or you know, because you know how I see my time. I'm never going to get back the time because my energy is precious. I'm expensive. I operate at a high vibration. Yeah, so I will never see it as a waste of my time or energy coming on here. As I said, even if it's just one of you, I know that it just, even that one person who really needs a friend. We need each other. We just need each other, really, because it's like waking up and you're in the Truman Show, you know, like we are literally on that boat. Like we've gone to the end now, and now we've figured, like we've realized nothing's real. It's just, it's all fake. It's like there's a fake cardboard wall at the end of the road. Mad. All right, so these are the same scriptures, but it's a slightly different lens. So all right, so again, just to reiterate that, I'm going to paraphrase it, and then I'm going to leave it here for today, and then I'm going to come back a bit later, just so I can honor that promise to myself that I did want to get some writing done and a bit of cleaning. And I did do some of the cleaning yesterday, guys. I've cleansed my space a lot, much clearer, but I would love to really make the most out of my day. I would love to write a bit, then go for a little walk, sit down at the field. There's a beautiful field down the road, and just do some grounding and writing, you know, because I think this book is going to be a mixture of things. You know, if a poem comes to my head, I might put like a poem in there, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. All right. So John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son. The cult's misinterpretation again is to recruit, because you have to perform to prove your love. We've looked at that God's love is a gift, is freely given. Salvation is received freely. Oh, thanks. Never said that sounds like a wonderful day. I don't have my car nowhere right now, so I've got to make the most of, you know, probably make myself a little hot chocolate and go for a walk. Yeah, because it's a lovely place though. If ever I was stranded anywhere, it would be my home. It's a beautiful area I live in. James 2:17, faith without works is dead. So faith is invalid without constant action, constant work, constant doing. That's where they're big on the works of the Lord's ministry, doing. That, like, rest is seen as the devil. Like if you rest, you're backslidden, you're worldly. They say you can rest when you unalive. You should be working for Jesus. You should be sold out for Jesus. And then people are dropping like flies in there, unaliving. Bare gal can't give birth. Bare gal are barren from the stress and the trauma, like on their body, because it's internally. It starts to show on the outward, but a lot of women struggle to conceive. And I'm gonna like explore that as well. I know of about 10 people in my branch alone that can't have kids, that are proper devout, like been saved. Matthew 28:19, go and make disciples. So this is the need to evangelize constantly, or it also kind of brands things that are supposed to be certain things as other things. So now faith is seen as worthless. Faith is invalid without the constant action. So if you're not evangelizing constantly, your faith is seen as worthless, because you need faith, the works, because your faith is works without faith is dead. So an outcome, or an external outcome of us knowing that your faith and works is not dead, is you being outreaching, evangelizing constantly. Otherwise, you're seen as worthless. You're seen as not a strong Christian. Is this making sense? Let me know. James critiques hypocrisy, not grace. Authentic faith expresses itself, but coercion or overwork is not necessary. So when, with God, obviously you need to do something. If you've got a plan, like I can't just sit here complaining that my life isn't getting any better. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I need to write the book. Do you know what I'm saying? I need to write the book, sow that seed into myself, into my time, etc. It's all a process. So again, we just see this invalid fake faith where people want to be seen. It's about evangelism. It's about, everything is external. Nothing is going within. Nothing is about going within. So there's no authenticity. It becomes coercion, coercive control. Like, to be a good Christian, you have to do this. A plus B equals C. There's steps you have to take, which they see as actions, and yardsticks as faith. Those are the steps. That's why I said there's so many rules and laws and so many things that you can and cannot do. They have to create this environment within the cult setting, twisting the scriptures. Twisting the scriptures. Definitely. Going within definitely allows us to have a personal relationship with God, the divine, Christ, Allah, whoever you believe in. It doesn't matter which faith or religious practice or whatever you look at, that element of going within and having a personal relationship with God is absolutely crucial. And one thing that we can see, I don't know much about the Muslim faith, I'll keep it real, but when it comes to like stillness and meditation and this and that, we can kind of find that, you can look at strands of that, like in Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism. You can see that thread running across a lot of different religions and beliefs. And then even when you look at the mind, body and soul, and this is, it's not really a new school of thought, because mind, body and soul, it's kind of like ancient hidden wisdom that is being revealed, isn't it, guys? Who's woke? Who's got that gnosis-ish going on? Who knows what I'm talking about? Who's resonating with that? It's like the lost files. Look at Evolve. It's like the lost files, isn't it? The lost blood clot files, chair. They tried to erase our history. It was the erasure of history and identity, especially as the feminine. So what do we have to do? Go within, to search within, to be able to draw that out. The inner truth. Yeah. Everything is aligned and in tune. Yes, it is. All right. So now we've got Matthew, and guys, these are very like deep truths. Please don't let these things go over your head and get distracted by other things. Like, really focus on like the vibration of what I'm saying. Like, make that be what it's about, not anything else. Really focus on what I'm saying, because these are deep truths. This is to help you deconstruct and deprogram for self. So really make it about self and really allow the truth to resonate, because what I just said was extremely deep. Extremely deep. All right. I'm so hot in there, man. I don't even have my fan. So then we've got Matthew 28:19, which is go and make disciples, evangelize constantly, or your faith is seen as worthless. Is this what I was just on, Chair? No, so I'm here. All right, so this is spoken in context to specific missions. So this goes into the transcendent belief system. The cult leader's transcendent belief system is to go into the world and preach the lost at any cost. It's to get bums on the seats, because we know bums on seats equals coins. So the evangelism and the faith and the whatever, that's all indoctrination, because it's spoken through a lens of the transcendental belief system, which is the overarching vision of the cult leader, which is in context to his specific mission and vision. So that's where we get the very closed-minded ministries, like very black and white dancing stars, choir. But what if someone's a painter? What if someone's an acrobat? What if someone's... There's just... It's very black and white in there. And witnessing can... And what I'm trying to show is witnessing can take many forms within care, art, teaching, justice. Action flows from the well of within, from love. Not fair. So that's why I say things like that scripture. This is why I can't dash the Bible away, man, because that scripture that says it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out, is so deep. Because if you hate yourself, you're full of dry bones, you're a heart of stone. And this is why people are calling them out in 2025 going into, and it's going to get worse in 2026. Because it's like they're trying to push this modesty agenda in a time that it's not going to run. And they can say it's religious psychosis, and they can say this and they can say that. But they got to remember, they're listening to a malignant narcissist who's just telling them whatever the hell they need to hear to pay some bills and to keep the supply and the feed. They don't care about what the hell's going on in the world. They're in psychosis. They're unwell. They think they know better than the world. They're great. God's going to come and judge us all. They're going to hear the trumpet. Absolutely gone. Religious psychosis at its finest. So then they send all these people out and they go and destroy their lives, get cancelled. All of that stuff happens because they're not their porster, but they're trying to come out being that. And they just don't have the support. It's all an illusion. So I'm hoping that the Breenies and whatever, they're going to see that. They will always have support from the washed up, insecure religious gal them, but not in the way that they would have hoped. All right. So Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God. This is when you're, the cult's misinterpretation is that you're being ignored or misused. No. It's showing, no, okay, all right. So the stillness, they can then go into ignoring you or misusing you. This is how I'm interpreting it anyway, because they've got rules for everything, and it's like, oh, if you're quiet, you're passive. Because if you say to them, if they've got a fast going on, and you feel within that God is drawing you to be by yourself and go away alone and pray, they'll tell you that you're proud. So people can't even hear God. They can't even go away to spend some time with God, but they'll be telling you to go away and spend time with God, but it will be in the bounds of what they're doing. They'll be preaching about going away and spending time with God, and they'll be saying to you, don't listen to the world. The world is evil. We just need to be together as the cult. That's what they want to do. Indoctrination. You can't breathe in there. It's suffocating, because they know once they get their foot off the wheel, that's it. You're going to clock it. That's why the pandemic was very damaging, because they couldn't keep us in that rat race, that revolving wheel. All right, guys, I'm going to have to go because it's 11. Oh, my God. All right. So again, I want to reiterate, stillness itself is a spiritual practice. Presence is a proof of divine connection. Peace and acceptance are received, not contingent on labor. Stillness can be an expression of trust in God. The key insight that I want us to take away is that grace is free, your worth is inherent, faith is received, not proven, stillness is sacred and allowed. And on that note, guys, I'm gonna come back. Oh, okay, I think this is the end. Let me just say, oh, this is the end, Chair. All right, let me just end this piece then. So here are some reflection prompts that you can use, guys. So get ready to screen record, or you can jot it down if this has resonated and you want to, you know, have some reflection prompts. So some of the questions that you can ask is, where in my body do I feel guilt when I pause? Where are you feeling that within the body? And then if you're into spiritual anatomy, so for example, if you want to go into like the chakras and where the trauma is stored within your spiritual anatomy and how you can heal that through frequency sound, because if you know how the world was created, I've just been looking into this ever so slightly, that the world was created, you know, obviously through vibration and sound. So sound is very powerful. It's a very powerful healing source. Okay. Let me see if Instagram's going to hold up for me. I don't think it will. Let me put you in here real quick. That's also how we heal through our ancestors. So someone else is saying that they heal with their ancestors. And again, guys, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you feel that resonates, then take it. I know some people still think ancestors are evil and whatever. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't, chair. So how does my nervous system react to stillness? Notice how your nervous system feels, because I know, just back to the spiritual anatomy stuff, I know in the sacral, which is the lower part of the stomach, when I started looking into the spiritual anatomy, I noticed that I held a lot of trauma in my sacral, like a lot of childhood trauma, especially there's stuff around my childhood stuff around the past, like to do with the cult and stuff. I always get these horrible pains in my lower stomach and my back. I hold a lot of the tension in my back and my lower, which funnily enough is the spine. Yeah. It's like the kind of like the snake part of the spiritual anatomy. But again, I don't really know much about it. But I do get downloads though. That's the thing. So sometimes I could talk about things and it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. It's just stuff that just comes out. I'll just say it. All right. So I can actually appear smarter than what I am. And I'm not even sure if what I'm saying is true. I don't know if it's a gift or it's downloads or I blow clock. No, but I have to be honest there, because I just got the gift of the gab. I'll keep it real. So again, looking at how does my nervous system react to stillness? What does it need to feel safe? So again, do you see this is how you get to know yourself? You can't have someone else that makes you feel safe, and someone else that makes you feel validated, and makes someone else that makes you feel loved and makes you feel secure, because then you're codependent on someone else. You've got to draw that out from yourself. So you need to have times in stillness. There needs to be times when you could just be on your own and you don't need anyone else around you. You've got to be able to master that. That is a spiritual practice that's like the ABCs. So if you're finding yourself in this like ego kind of death, you know, you're kind of going through a time of stillness, separation, going within, etc. Look at, how does my nervous system react to stillness? What does it need to feel safe? Which beliefs about my faith, worth, or service are old systems, conditioning, and not divine truths? So you see, this is helping you, like, instead of when things come back, we'll just cry, ooh, write it down. This is one of my old belief systems. Oh yeah, this is an old belief system. In it, no, it will help. This is an old, I'm actually going to do this for myself. This is an old belief system. Let me jot it down. And then you need to then reflect. This is not a divine truth for me. This no longer resonates. So do you see how you're kind of working through? Because remember, the mind gets millions of thoughts a day, and it's only like, what is it, like 5% or something that we retain. So if your psyche is retaining certain thoughts, that's where the PTSD, the CPTSD is coming. Because if that many thoughts come in your head, that many memories, but you're retaining these ones that cause you distress. You see, so it's been this cognition of thought throughout the ages, through psychology, through different schools of thought, that have helped us to understand things from a neuroscience, psychological, metaphysical standpoint, which has absolutely saved our life. Jesus Christ taught it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's why they've tried to unalive the true meaning and source of who Christ is, and they've tried to like manipulate it so that it has like no power. That's why they're always talking about power in the name of Jesus, power in this, power in that, because it's all projection. Jesus Christ never taught about that. The power is in stillness. That's why silence is lethal. Just just nothing. Like no, like silence is the way you preserve your energy. That's why I know people's neurosystem is all effed up when they can't be with themselves. They can't respect boundaries. They can't respect boundaries. That if you put certain boundaries in place, yeah, and the person can't respect those boundaries, then that shows that that person has a lot of deep rooted like dysregulation of the neurosystem and a lot more trauma to unpack. And this is the issue when we go into these spaces and then we get these like not even survivors, we get like cult members who have all of this trauma, all of these issues, and they're draining the life source of people like they're shepherds. But the thing is, the shepherds are so drained, it's like they become desensitized. So now they're just living with undiagnosed chronic health issues. They've developed comorbidity. So you need to learn when your cup needs to get filled. Like nobody can't emotionally manipulate me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I was in the cult for 18 years. So I know just like how to put myself first and just draw back and like, what's the word? Like when you need to like draw back and what's the word? Thing your own energy. There's a time where we need to do that, guys. That's the femininity. That's being in our feminine energy. Because the thing is that we should always be doing. But we need to learn to just like draw back and also be able to spend time alone. Be able, preserving energy and spending time alone as well. Like for me, what I'm learning in my spiritual practice is that the time I need alone is absolutely imperative. Do you understand what I'm saying? To recharge my batteries, because in the cult, Noah, can you hear me? Can you not hear me? Because my battery's really low on Insta. I'm finishing now though. In the cult, it's like you cannot rest. It's a sin to rest, and it makes sense now why it's a sin to rest, because they don't want you to be in your feminine energy. They want your neurosystem to be all messed up so that they can indoctrinate you easier. And guys, the closing, this is going to be my last one. Which beliefs about faith, worth, or service are old system conditioning and not divine truth? How can I create daily rituals that honor being over doing? And if the word ritual is a bit triggering for you, I'm sorry, guys. So maybe develop healthy habits, healthy routines that honor just being. So being in the present, being true to yourself. What do you want? F what everybody else thinks. I don't care. I don't carry people's emotions. I don't carry what they're feeling. I couldn't give a F. I care about myself. And you need to be like that, guys, because you will be a doormat. You'll be easy to manipulate. Emotional manipulation, narcissist. People will be feeding and people will be sucking and siphoning off your energy if you can't learn to say no. And you can't be selfish and think about yourself. That is the way that people could control you. And they can, and in these settings, they love bomb you. They love bomb you. They groom you. They don't come in like, you can't do that. You can't. They come in like love bomb you. They give you, they might borrow clothes because some of them are cheap, chair. They won't even buy you. They won't buy you nothing. But they'll love bomb you, like build you up, like tell you you're the greatest. Then they start feeling entitled. Like when you say, "Oh, I don't really want to come to church today." No, you have to come, because I've been helping you, sending you scriptures. I helped you. I helped you when you came and you didn't have nothing. I bought this for you. I did this for you. This is what they do. They will throw things back in your face, guys. This is what they'll do. Break down your self-esteem, make you feel like nothing. I've seen them do this to girls time and time and time. Even myself, they did it to me. And that's why I felt like if I left, I would be ungrateful. It's like I felt like I owed them. I felt like I was entitled. So guys, please be selfish. Love yourself. Care only. Oh, hi, Rhoda. How are you? You're looking very washed up in there, girl. She's gone now. How are you doing? You little 304. But even my dusty ex-husband didn't want you. That's low level. You ain't nothing, girl. You're just in there washed up and 40. Bye, guys. I'll be back on later. You're washed up. You're washed up and 40 years old with no babies, no husband, no ring on it. So I don't know why you're coming in my life. You need to go and sort yourself out, love. You need to go and get yourself a husband that wants you, you little idiot. Rhoda, get a life. Why are you on there? All right, I'm going. Love you. Bye. I just had to do like this cold idiot. This girl, she said she gets on my nerves. Why are you coming to pre? Coming on your own account as well, like you got some kind of vim with it. You get me? Like you're coming on. You want me to know that you're on. Go suck yourself dry. I'll see you later, guys.